After. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Dr. Sheda, and of course, our students. So
Good
our
afternoon, sir.
hi. So our lesson today is a continuation of the customer service reality. The age of customer service, as we said. And remember the last time that we met, it's about the assignment that we had. It's about the review of literature and service quality. And this presentation is about a recall of the timelines of quality as we experience it through the years. No? So first, we have the timelines of quality right here in this slide. And this is basically what happened in the last century. No? So first of all, in the 1900s, we have the scientific management by Frederick Taylor. We have the time in motion studies and all that. This was a time when majority of the people are in the I would say agriculture based and mining, the 1900s. And then at about the same time, 1910, 1920s, the administrative management of Henry Fayol and all those administrative theory. Then afterwards, the Hawthorne studies. These are the basis and foundations of what we call the occupational safety and health. All those experimentations that they did back then was the basis and the standard now of OSH. This is the human relations management, and then afterwards, of course, the psychologists came into the picture, and we had the start of the behavioral management, right? And then the 1950s came and started with the Maslow's need hierarchy and the start of the motivational theories in management. This was an unprecedented growth. Remember, in the 1940s, was the end of the World War, and then in the 1950s, the start of the big factories and all the increases in business starting after the World War. And then it ends in the supposedly landing on the moon, the supposed landing on the moon. I always say that. And then this was the time of the Vietnam War. A lot of conflicts around. Okay, Malcolm X got killed. Martin Luther King got killed. So this is the contingency theory, transactional management, and so many transitions going on in the world of management. And then in the 1970s, of course, the OPEC crisis came in, a lot of changes in the market also. And in the management, it moves from the transactional leadership to transformational leadership. And then in the 1980s, what happened was the breakdown of a lot of companies in the US. It was fueled, forgive me for the pun, the OPEC crisis is about fuel. It was fueled by the fuel because of the OPEC crisis, and because of that, a lot of companies almost folded up. No, GM was in ruins. FedEx was losing money, and at the onset of this, Toyota, Mitsubishi, Nissan, all these Japanese companies are increasing in sales, and they are becoming very successful. And so they realize that there must be something good happening in Japan. Let's go to Japan. Let's look at what's happening there. And this is the start of the frameworks of quality. And the Toyota Way came about. ISO framework was started in 1987, and also Baldrige. So, and then 10 years after the internet revolution came, of course, a lot of all our students have not yet been born yet, but this is the start of the internet revolution in 1995, when the first internet came about. The first internet connectivity came about, and this was ushered by the Windows 95, which started in 1980s. Of course, the Windows. Now, so internet revolution brought about globalization. Customer loyalties begin to decrease because they are now looking for cheaper products, cheaper means of doing things. Brand differentiation, is there really such a thing? And this is what is happening. There are brands in India making a killing. There are brands in China making a killing. Of course, 10 years after this internet revolution, 10, 15 years after this, we have the birth of the supply chains brought about because of the fickle-minded customers changing minds every now and then. The war on supply chains came about. Alibaba came, and then of course Amazon and all these big supply chain magnets, and it has become now an all-out war on supply chains and delivery mechanisms all over the world. And now we have the war on customer service. What does that mean? If you will come back to the original individual universal principles of quality management, we have customer focus, leadership, and this is written in the ISO 9001 framework. Okay, people involvement, process approach, systematic approach to management, continual improvement, factual approach to decision making, and then mutually beneficial supplier relations. But take note, number one, always in all listing of the universal principles of quality, ever since it started in the 1980s, customer focus is always number one. So what are universal quality management and where do they come from? Taiichi Ono is a mechanical engineer, came from Toyota. And in his principles of lean, of course, this was not really a thing. If you ask the Toyota people, I asked my favorite Japanese from Toyota, my seatmate in Toyota, Sawada-san. I said, did Taiichi Ono really mention that customer satisfaction is our true north? He said, no. True North is not even our language, he said. But I guess what happened there is that the American people who did an analysis of the Japanese culture and the Japanese way of management saw that the word True North, the True North is the ideal. It's like a compass that directs the companies to where it should be going. And since customer focus, customer satisfaction is always on top of the list, it's always the fundamental pillars of quality. And then they said, okay, yeah, customer satisfaction is our true north, which is really the case, and not zero defect. This is actually pitching a war against the Six Sigma practitioners. The lean people and the Six Sigma people, they don't really get along very well. No? So that's why the Lean Six Sigma, the framework of Lean Six Sigma is not really very friendly with each other. So that's why when they ascribe Taiichi Ono as to having said this is actually slamming the face on the Lean Six Sigma people. The reason is these people would always say zero defect, zero defect. That's what we are aiming for. But then they ascribe this to Toyota's Taiichi. No, it's not really zero defect. Even if you have defect and the customer is satisfied, the whole ball game would always shift to the favor of the company that does customer satisfaction. So you take care of the customer and you make them satisfied, then there's nothing wrong with what's going on, and you will always be raking in the profits. Okay, so the customer service differentiation, and this is the start of what we said a couple of lectures back, isn't it? The serve qual dimension. Look at the date 1988. 1988 is almost at the end of the quality frameworks and then at the beginning of the internet revolution, right, in the 1990s. And this is really the start of the service quality. Customer service differentiation. We have reliability, assurance, tangibility, empathy, responsiveness, the rater model. And then I always thought that Parasuraman and Berry were the ones who started it. And then when I did the research a few days back, I realized that Philip Kotler even wrote a similar thing in the 1970s. So he mentioned that the customer service is actually, since it is, it's not something that's clearly seen. Unlike, facilities, you can see it. It's tangible, it's visible. But customer service, since it's invisible, it's only going to be appreciated and understood by the people for whom the customer service is for. And of course, that would be the customers. And imagine Philip Kotler saying something like this in the 70s. So meaning even prior to all this, computerization, globalization, circle dimensions. Philip Butler already mentioned this in his writing. So customer service differentiation is not really something new, and you can always differentiate, through customer service. So developing service culture would start with knowing your value proposition, and that's why, isn't it, that we had several lectures back about the value proposition, but I think that's on a different class, right? But the value proposition, isn't it, that we have? Uh, can you recall the value proposition, guys? And then the elevator pitch, isn't it, that there are propositions of value when it comes to speed. What else? Cost, okay, experience, excellence, right? So these are your value proposition. Meaning a company can say that, okay, we stand for excellence. Another one would say, okay, we stand for cheap cost. Our company is the cheapest of all. Okay, so that would be the case, right? So yeah, so that's the first one. You have to know your value proposition, because you cannot be confused into doing whatever you think you're doing. Like, for example, I remember I mentioned a few lectures back about the Ariel, right? Dun sa ating marketing yan, Ariel 750, di ba? And then when Tide came with ang baba, the 6 peso thing, commercial, that defeated, that destroyed what Ariel is talking about, because akala ko ba value proposition nyo pinakamura kayo. Eto, here comes Tide, who is also known for quality, and yet ang kanyang value proposition is that we are excellent, and yet our price is even lower than your price. So nasira yung value proposition, di ba? So yun yung point na yun, even in marketing, we can have a presentation of value proposition, and it must be clear. If it is not clear, just like what the Ariel commercial seems to be pointing about, di ba? If the customers cannot understand that, o kaya naman it would be ambiguous. Do you mean 750 is already cheap? Diba? So 750 lang, diba? And then came, Tide with the 6 peso thing, so that destroyed you. And diba, after that, wala na, hindi na lumabas yun. It did not come out anymore. So you have to clearly define what value proposition is. Diba? And then secondly, clearly define what great customer experience means. And ito, the next couple of slides will more or less show this. Ano yung what do you mean by customer experience? Diba? You have to look from the eye of the customer. I remember when I was first looking for my graduate school program, saan ba ako mag-graduate school? Since I graduated from UST, I went to UST. Sabi ko nga, and this was, I was already with the LPU then, and I know what customer service is all about in LPU. Ito yung padating mo palang sakit, kinakausap. Well, dito po tayo. But then in UST, of course, I love, that's I'm a Thomasian, and, I love what my former school is all about, all this university and all that. Pero when I came to the office, lo and behold, Sabado to eh, no one was there to welcome me. Imagine, wala talaga, no? And then you cannot talk to anybody. The only people that are there in the offices are the students. So, ano ba, paano ito mag-graduate school? Ang mga kausap ko, mga estudyante, sir, wala pa po, may klase po kasi si Dean. Si Dean po kasi ang pwede mong mag-advise sa inyo. And, you know what? I ended up taking my master's first in LaSalle. Kasi when I went to LaSalle, kasi talagang frustrated na ako ng time na yun, master's in education management. So, baba ako sa Bito ko, so madali na kaya mag-masters dito sa LaSalle. So, when I went to LaSalle, graduate school, si Miss Tina, natandaan ko, a lot of people remember her. And sabi ni Miss Tina, ay, dito ka na lang, sir. Ito yung mga kukunin mong subject. We can also, and then, even serve you coffee. You cannot exit the door without thinking of, enrolling in that school. And sabi ko, ito pala yung difference. And then Dr. Menya, when I made a post like that in the Facebook, she said something, alam mo, sir, hindi naman, there's nothing wrong with this customer service of UST. Nasanay ka lang sa customer service ng LPU. And that is the reason why you are ranting. Oh, so sabi ko, ano, kasi sa atin, di ba, you know, you put that in UST, they will say, bakit hindi ka pa makapaghintay? Estudyante ka dapat maghintay ka doon, no? Pero, you know, I've been staying there for almost 2 hours. Walang kumakausap sa akin. Sabi ko, anong klaseng customer service to? But, you know, in other schools, it is like that. Sabi nga ni Dr. Menya sa akin, Dr. Menya from LPU Batangas. So, I said to myself, nga, no? Because you got used to how you serve your customers, then it sets a benchmark, you know, easily you are comparing everything with how you are, serving your customers. So because of that, of course, noong time na yun, guys, wala pang grad school ang LPU noon, no, sa Batangas, and I was near to Batangas, and I think in Manila it's just starting at wala pang business noon. And ako kasi educational management yung kinuha ko, so that's why wala pa tayo noon. But then after 10 years, mga 5 years, I started MBA and then finished my doctorate in LPU. Yun, parang ganun tayo eh. And so, I hope na ganun din, that's how you feel, guys, no, with our team in Davao. And that's really how we view our customer relations. Na, di ba, pansin nyo, even if you message us during night time, we answer, di ba? Kasi ganun yung idea natin eh. We want you to make that experience. No? Nagkaroon ba ng time na minessage nyo ako na hindi ako sumagot? Di ba? Kahit na gabi, di ba? Pag narinig kong tumunog ang phone ko, tapos nakita ko si Christian nag-message. Di ba, Christian, no? Diba? Ganun tayo eh. We answer our customers kasi ang idea natin dito is that you cannot diba? You cannot convince other people to go to your diba, Christian, no? I mean the others also as well. Ang hirap mong convince other people to go to your school. Tapos hindi mo naman mapakita sa kanila yung talagang true customer service, di ba? So yeah, that's it eh. And you have to be comfortable with what it means for your company. Dapat that's how you view things. And then even the students end up even in the end, that's what will happen in Davao. They will end up working in the same company, in the same school. When we grow, sana you help us also, guys. No, talagang ayan si our very hardworking team. No, talagang we are, we want you to also help us in getting enrollees. Kasi eventually, we have already made our mark in Davao. And natandaan ko pa nga when we were first starting it, I was telling them, before you can see it, you see it with your eyes. Dr. Sotero saw it with his mind. And I was referring to the moving kasi 'di ba first time tumawid ng dagat papuntang Davao eh. Every LPU before was in Luzon. And then 'di ba nag-deliver ako ng ganyan kasi nga kami gumawa ng feasibility ng LPU Davao before. So pagtingin ko kay Ma'am Lorna, parang nangingilit-gilit yung luha na. So parang sabi ko mukhang I struck a note because really that's the vision of the owners, and minsan it's hard to believe na yung vision ng owners nagiging reality yun in the customer service principles, and even the students they can feel it after. And even nga yung LPU Laguna, when I look at the original vision, industry based whatever, sabi ko talaga nangyari pala to, no? Samantalang we didn't review the original manuscript of the vision, no, and then the feasibility study of Laguna, and then we ended up fulfilling the vision of the owners. So, I think that will also be the same. So, kayo, guys, we are of course very happy that you are part of that because you're not only our customers, you are also our partners because you are also our students. We somehow, teachers, of course, officers natin and you students, we somehow become the advertisement. Hindi yung mga post sa sa social media. We become the advertisement, the advertisers of LPU Davao. Every time, we go out, nakikita, taga LPU Davao yan. Kaya pala magaling yung mga batang yan, di ba? And I know na you guys know, especially our officers sa student council, talagang you're really trying your best. Yun, we want to always do that and to set our goals, in that principle. Kasi para sa akin, and I think it is also the same case with what the owners, the president and all the owners would view what LPU stands for, and supporting, advocating our employees, and then our students, syempre, almost synonymous, no? The way we take care of our employees. And ako, even though I'm far, I can see yung mga messages. Alam nyo guys, talagang sobra yung Davao family, no? Meron silang talagang there's a bond that exists, and even although I'm far away, I can sense that, I can feel that, getting together, eating together, and I see that's the kind of service culture that we want, no? Kasi if you cannot experience it, how can you share it, diba? Sabi nga, you cannot share what you don't have. You cannot say it, you cannot give it to others if you don't have it. So a service culture is something that you feel first, diba? And kaya nga ang employees, if they don't sense that as a certain basic principle, then they're not be able to share it. So I just hope that you guys also feel the same way. Kasi yun talaga yun. That's how we view our service to you. So you're not only our products eventually, you are also our customers, and we want you to be successful. Share ko lang guys, kasi baka hindi nyo pa to nagagawa kasi syempre you're in Davao. EK is from my village, Enchanted Kingdom is ang idea niyan parang Disney, Disney ang niyan eh. And when they started yung Agila ito yung parang 3D, 4D siya because yung upuan mo gumagalaw din, And it's like you're traveling and you're Agila, traveling through the 7,000 islands, maganda siya. And ang in-highlight ni Enchanted Kingdom is experience. So EK experience. So it's a bit expensive, and I know itong 2020, they almost closed na, because of the pandemic. Pero kahit mahal yung nila, a lot of people still go there because of EK experience. So parang it's like once in a lifetime, kailangan makapunta ka dito, parang ganun. That's the idea of what EK is all about. And even as far as ends of Luzon, sometimes even people from Visayas are going there. So ang idea niya is about experience. And I think the same also Starbucks, alam mo yun, yung tipo, although namin yun panahon namin, I'm sure sa inyo, parang normal na yung Starbucks. Every time we will go to Starbucks, nandun kami mismo yung logo ng Starbucks, nagpipicture kami, tapat Starbucks logo, because we want to share it in the social media, mga unang-una pa ng Facebook, Instagram, ngayon mas marami ng choices, of course, and it really depends. But yung experience talaga is what it's all about. And again, as I said, it copied what Disney said. Ang Enchanted Kingdom philosophy bears. By the way, yung first namin master's program was in Enchanted. I was one of the first teachers. Si Dr. Balingit din yung aking din nun. And then sinubo niya sa Enchanted Kingdom. So I taught there, and our first client were yung mga officers nila. And ang ganda ng discussions doon, although ako nagturo lang mga 2 subjects lang, but planning yung sa akin. So that's why one of the things that they mentioned, at ando doon yung anak nung may-ari, si Bea Mamon. Si Mario Cesar Mamon, di ba siya yung isa sa founder. Tapos sabi ni Bea Mamon, yung philosophy ng tatay ko, sabi niya, is yung sa Disney. And what Disney said almost 100 years ago is what we are trying to do here. Sabi ko, ano yun? If the customer cannot see it, it does not exist. So pag hindi nakikita ng customer, wala kayong masasabi ng anything. Right? But sabihin mo man na, okay, cyber campus kami, we are top of the ganito. If the customers are not able to verbalize it, then it does not exist. You're just beating against the wind, di ba? Yun ang idea niya. So, quality, di ba? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder daw. Sabi niya, quality is in the eye of the customer. So, parang ang point niya is that, you don't measure quality in terms of paper. You measure quality by the shares of the customer, by the experience of the customer. So, pag ang experience ng customer ay bad, and that's the reason why they employ a lot of people. Thousands talaga, guys. Pag pupunta kayo doon. There was a time that ang Enchant Kingdom was talagang fully packed, no? The whole STI was there, no? It's the school STI. And sabi nga nung mga taga Enchanted doon, Sir, alam mo ba kung ilang tao ngayon dito? 23,000. Sabi mo, maniwala naman ako sa inyo. Sabi niya lang, talagang fully packed. Everybody from STI was there. So, imagine, paano nangyari? Paano kasya yun dyan? Puro mga bus-bus. No? Papuntang village namin yun. It was so jam-packed. And I remember asking them, ilan yung tao nyo dyan? No? So, almost 3,000 daw yung kanilang employees. No? At that point in time. So, imagine, no? Ang goal talaga nila, guys, is 2 million visitors in a year. Although hindi pa nila yon na-achieve because in Asia, to be part of the top 20, yun ang sabi ni Mr. Mamon, kailangan you should have at least 2 million customers in a year. And in Enchanted Kingdom, wala pa silang, hindi pa nila naabot yun. Medyo mahal kasi ang Enchanted. Saka maliit yung kanilang By the way, half ng kung ang Disney has 64 acres, 32 sila. So kalahati na sila ng Disneyland. So ganun kalaki ang Enchanted. So yan, recalling, no? So remember when we defined what service culture is, it is an environment. Gusto ko lang i-highlight ito kasi nabanggit na natin to where employees are obsessed with providing superior customer service. So if we recall that, the employees are obsessed with providing superior customer service to clients. You do that, di ba? How do you do that? We said something like, yung key questions then will be, how do you impassion your employee service? How do you put the customers first? Ano yung cadence of service o cadence of responsibilities for disciplines of execution? Remember, dito cadence of service, no? Cadence of service. Unstable. Okay, sorry, unstable. Okay, balik na tayo. So, yun, cadence of responsibilities for disciplines of execution, guys. Remember, yung kay Stephen Covey, di ba? And now we have the cadence of service. Ano yung benefits that we will give them to our employees? How to motivate the organization? Where to start? Ayan yung mga questions natin. Puro what, who, where, when, how, di ba? But remember, lest we forget, remember this, we start with the why. Remember Simon Sinek, sabi na natin to, the golden circle. The why is always at the beginning of everything. That is why we said na if you stick with the why are you doing it ba in the first place, di ba? Bakit importante sa inyo na yung customer service sticks it out? Alam naman natin yun why customer service should be the first, no? Why a culture of service should be on top, no? Sabi nga sa ating mga nireview sa literature, remember? But why? That's the question. Kasi if you don't start with the why, then sabi nga niya dito, some or very few organizations know why they do what they do. Why is not about making money? Kasi if you say, okay, we want to have profits, a lot of profits, result yun . That is a result. Why is a purpose? Yun yung, dapat may purpose yung company. No? It's a cause or belief. It's the very reason why your organization exists. So if service is not part of it, di ba? Maaring, ginagawa lang namin to in order to earn a lot of money. And if you don't put the why service, no? Parang kailangan natin mag-serve. Kailangan natin ma-save yung planet or whatever that is, no? That you want as a why. Then wala hindi natin to Hindi natin makikita 'yon sa mga employees natin. If the leaders are not clear with that, then how will the employees be also clear about it, di ba? Kasi they are simply following the leaders, di ba? So yung positive service culture is about what is happening inside the company kasi. The culture is how your company's visions, values, and mission are upheld with your employees and customers. So, talagang number one talaga yun eh. In fact, if you ask HP, no, yung Hewlett Packard, number one sa kanila talaga ay, syempre, customers, no, employees, stakeholders, last na yan eh. Last na yan. And bago mo ma-serve ang customer, kailangan ma-serve mo din ng employees. You know? You cannot not take care of your employees. Because if your employees are empowered, if your employees are not trained, diba? If your employees are not aligned with the vision, yun yung 5 areas sa may investors in people. Eh. Aligned ba yung vision nila sa vision ng company? Are they empowered? Are they involved in the planning of the organization? Tapos, do they know where they are going? Tapos, are they trained for it? Tapos, mayroon pa tayong continuous improvement. No? Nakikita pa nila yun. Because if not, how can they serve? You know, the company in itself, abstract ang company. Eh. It's not LPU that serves you. It's our manung guard, it's our people from the registrar, it's our office of the dean, it's the student services, di ba? It's the people that serves you. It's not LPU abstractly. Hindi naman yung hindi naman yung walls ng LPU, hindi naman si JPL yan, hindi naman si Stero H. Laurel yung nagsiserve sa inyo, di ba? It's really the people that serves you. And if they cannot imbibe what the positive service culture is all about, and I'm talking about our school, pero pag lumabas na kayo, paano yan pag dumating kayo sa isang company na hindi malinaw yun, yung service culture na yan, yung philosophy na yan, hindi siya malinaw. And yung tipong, sir, masisira na po itong natin, itong food na to, itong packet na to. For example, nandito ako sa may Gardenia, for example. Gardenia, one of my most favorite tasty. No? Pansin mo sila, pag sila masisira na yung tinapay nila, inaalis na nila sa shelf yan, kahit malugi sila. Because sila nga isa sa mga unang-unang company naglagay ng expiration. Kasi they don't want the customers to buy expired food. So, di ba? Paano ko ang sabi ng boss okay na yan, isang araw na, laman tiyan pa yan. Huwag mo nang alis yung shelf, di ba? Para kumita naman tayo, malulugi pa tayo. Gusto mo magtanggal ako ng tao, ikaw unang tatanggalin. May mga ganyan na companies, ha? There are companies that behave like that. And if the companies behave like that, ano ang maipapakita nun sa customer? Kung yung mga employees, ganun ang salitaan ninyo pag wala ang business, ang customers. So pag alis ng customers, di ganun ka din, di ba? That's how you will also act, di ba? Kasi sabi ni boss, kahit na sira na daw yun, serve pa rin natin. Di ba? Hindi yun positive. Di ba? How do you uphold that to your employees? Kailangan consistent yan. Kaso mahirap yun, guys. Lalo na dumarating ang point wherein we are also syempre having a hard time. Lalo ngayon, nag-pandemic, the bottom lines of a lot of companies are turning red, ang hirap niyang i-pursue. And I know na lahat naman affected, even ang school affected. And that is the reason why if you have a customer service culture, if you have a positive service culture, I think mas maiintindihan ng customers yun. Even the way you would, for example, adjust the prices and di ba? Because syempre we also want to take care of our people, natural, we have to raise the prices also, no? And if the company is serving correctly and serving excellently, then ang tingin ko the customers understand that and we will deserve, yun ang word na ginagamit lagi ng mga Laurel, we will deserve the price that we are selling the product for. Diba? Kasi the product is the education that they have, the experience of education. And what happens after you graduate if you are an LPU graduate, di ba? So parang ganun yung idea nun eh. And you are trying to sell that because we know from the lessons that we had from several students in the past. Hindi lang naman kayo yan eh. Hundreds of thousands of students graduating under the LPU banner. Diba? Na i-employ sila, mabilis lang. Ako nga, yung business namin, and I'm sure ganun din ang mangyayari sa inyo guys. Alam mo, ang record na ginawa namin sa LPU in Laguna, it's not how many percent got employed after graduation. It is how many percent of students got employed before graduation. Binago namin ang KPI namin sa LPU in Laguna. And nangyayari yan guys sa business. Kaya napaka-importante talaga. I know guys in Davao, that's also what will happen to you. So, you know, this kind of positive vibe that the people must have, no? So benefits of a good customer, syempre, it's awkward sometimes to talk about this in front of our customers because you are our customers. But you know, customer retention, I see this even in the schools in LPU. Yeah? Customer retention, hindi lang basta na-retain ng customers, ha? They are even sending their children, their grandchildren to where they studied. You know, yung tipong graduate ako dito eh. So gusto ko yung mga anak ko dito rin mag-aaral. Yan. So meron silang customer retention. Tapos profitability will also increase, natural. Lalo na sa yung kinakwento kanina, EK, no? Ang mini-measure nila is the number of visitors plus also the average spending that they have while inside the Enchanted Kingdom. So yung profitability, kasi nga may loyalty ka eh. Tingnan mo ang mga owners ng Apple, no? Ako, Apple customer talaga ako ever since eh. So pag may labas na, although hindi ako bumibili every now and then, no? Baka naman sabihin nyo, iPhone 13, hindi tayo ganun, no? Ang ano lang natin kung ano yung last na lumabas, siguro mga 3 years ago, yun ang kaya pa natin. Pero at least, you know what I mean, di ba? Lalo sa ibang bansa, minsan talagang bago pa man ilabas, no? Even before they release the new iPhone, ang dami na nakapila sa labas, no? Kasi profitability will surely increase because you will always keep on buying, you know, the product. Ngayon ang Apple pati ngayon nagda-diversify, may phone, may watch, di ba? May phone, may watch, tapos meron pa silang Apple Pay, you know. And now, I think doon sila talagang nagre-rake ng profits ng Apple Pay, no? Parang Google Pay, no? Ang tagal mag-react ng Google sa Apple Pay, kaya tuloy ang Apple ngayon. Alam niyo naman yun, di ba? I mentioned that the first company to hit the $1 trillion market value in the history. So imagine, silang unang-unang company na nag-hit ng $1 trillion na market value. And hindi mo makukuha yun if you don't have a good customer following. So profitability will surely increase if you have that. Parang cult-like following. Imagine, I thought that when Steve Jobs, personal idol ko si Steve Jobs, si Steve Jobs, nung namatay, mawawala ng Apple. But hindi eh. So yung seeds na nailagay ni Steve Jobs will remain to be there. And then susunod dyan, long-term customer relationship developed through customer service. Parang it's always a given. You know, halimbawa may bagong, ito example lang, may bagong rule, no? Ito, mga students, ganito ang dapat yung gawin. Hindi yung ang unang sasabihin ng mga estudyante, ala, ano naman yung mga pauso naman talaga, oh. Diba? Ganun naman sasabihin. Actually, hindi ganun ang iisipin nila. Ang number one nila may isip, kaya ito ginawa ng college kasi importante ito sa amin. Diba? Kasi nga, meron kayong relationship eh. May customer relationship kayo eh. Always ang given will be, this is good for us. And the college will not do something that will destroy us, you know? And, you know, parang ganun eh. So, ganun yung idea. Of course, hindi naman yung perfect, guys. So, hindi naman 100%. Hindi naman lahat ng estudyante ganun na ma-feel. Natural, hindi naman, no? But we try our best. That's what we want. No? We try our best. I hope that you're also feeling the same way. Customer referrals, no? Sa amin, no? Sa Laguna, that's what is happening. And I hope you also do that, no? Sa akong mag-aaral, kuya, tinan mo dyan sa may kabila, baka meron. Siyempre sa LPU, siyempre sabi mo LPU, di ba? O, meron tayo niyan. Eh, wala kaming people, mag-o-offer na tayo ng people management, ha? So parang ganoon, ibig sabihin, alam niyo kung ano yung in-offer ng school, di ba? Apply kayo sa amin, di ba? You know, you become now the walking advertisement. Parang, di ba taga-LPU ka? Okay ba sa inyo? Ay, oo naman. Talaga na. Kaya kung tayo mga teacher na mga galing dyan. Hindi naman. Parang sabihin, di ba, you know, your image is enhanced, yung conversion rate is optimized. Ano yung conversion rate? Hindi po nagtatanong pa lang. Di ba sabi ko sa inyo kanina, the example that I had with Lasal, nung Lasal Green, Lasal Manila, di ba? And again, nung time na yun, wala pang LPU graduate school. Pero imagine, no? Kapag pumunta ka doon, after 10 minutes, kaya nga ginawa namin yun eh. Sa Laguna, gumawa kami ng one-stop shop eh. Anong nangyari dyan? Once you step into the office, we will get you. Ganun yun. Kapag nako-convert ka na kagad, ang conversion rate namin nasa 60%. Although I think yung College of Allied Medicine talaga yung pinakamalaking hataw doon. No? I think mga 80 to 90% ang conversion rate nila. And sometimes, ang daming school na nilalampasan nila. You know, and then in the end, they enroll. Di ba? And of course, enhancing ang public image. And now this will be, actually, this is the last slide, guys, no? And I would like to say this, and as a means to tickle a bit your mind, di ba? Ang fourth industrial revolution is already here. Huwag niyo isipin na wala pa. The fourth industrial revolution is already here. Ang AI is here. Nakita ko nga sa Facebook yung, merong isang Chinese na singer na 20-something years ago namatay. And then they, quote-unquote, resurrected her. Kinakausap ng mga reporter, oh, how are you, ganyan. Oh, I'm going to sing my most famous song, blah, 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 ganyan. So, akala mo buhay. Nasa TV lang, ha? Pero ang galing. So, ito na ngayon yung AI, the next industrial revolution. How would business cope against robot and AI? And I have to understand that in the context of service. Will service defeat the robots in AI? Di ba yung robots kasi parang okay, you talk to them. I will for example book my next flight, di ba? So kakausap ko siya mga AI na eh. Hindi mo nga alam eh na ang kausap mo AI na pala, hindi na pala tao 'yun, no? Pero you know, they're efficient. Hindi yan nagagalit. Murahin mo, hindi magagalit 'yan. No, di ba? So how will we cope up against these robots, no? And alam niyo may mga literature na eh. Masyado tatagal lang pag isama natin dito, but I already have a list of literature that you can review. Hindi ko naman ipapa-review lahat 'yun, but just a summary of parang tingnan niyo lang siya and paano nila sinasagot yung question na to. AI and the next industrial revolution. So I mean, you know, kahit na siguro hindi kayo magbukas ng Google or whatever, makikita niyo naman more or less ngayon eh. Di ba? For example, in your case, sa inyo ngayon, no? Sa tingin niyo, what would be, you know, what would defeat robots and AI? What do you think? Marwen. Talaga si Marwen, alam mo Marwen, kakaiba kasi ang pangalan mo, kaya lagi kitang tinatawag. Marwen, what do you think? Ano ang makakapag-serve?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What do you think?
Ano po yung question?
How do you cope against AI with service? You know, kasi di ba AI na ngayon eh. So,
Shopee ka po.
oo, totoo. Shopee ba ako? Okay, how do you cope? Answer this question. How will business cope against robots and AI? Marwin.
I think, sir, is to put them to our business, like work with robots and AI and integrate it to our business, because I think this is, as you said, this is a revolution that we are in right now. So the best way to cope with our business is to accept them and to acknowledge that they are going to be here for a very long time. So I think the best way is to adjust to how the world is going to be. Yun lang, sir.
Right. Yeah, correct. Tama naman, no? Talaga namang we cannot not accept them. We have to accept them. They're already here. I mean, even if we don't accept them, right? Pero ang ano ko naman is, how about Denver? Or anybody, if you want. Sa tingin nyo, paano natin sila matatalo? Ibig sabihin, if we are a company na walang robot, walang AI, Christian, paano natin sila matatalo? Paano natin sila ma-defeat, parang ganun. Yes, Christian, what's your answer?
For me, Doc, there are some businesses kasi na merong mga AI na mga services na, especially if mag-book ka ng flight mo or any bookings mo online. But then for some kasi na ang employees talaga nila mismo ang nagke-cater ng mga kailangan ng mga customers nila, they can answer almost everything na kailangan ng mga customer. Kasi yung mga AI kasi or mga robots, naka-program lang sila to answer specific questions or limited lang ang kanilang makayang ma-answer sa mga customers. Yun.
Tama. Okay, very good, Christian. Actually, yun yung hinahanap kong sagot. Talagang totoo yun. No? Limited lang Limited lang sila, guys. No? So, there's always the feel of emotions, 'di ba? 'Di ba, guys? Parang even if you're excited, 'di ba? Sasabihin niyan, may ano na niyan guys, akala mo talagang tunay na tao. So, oh, is this your first time in Texas, for example? And then you will say, yeah, can you hurry up? Okay, yes, I will hurry up because you're important to me and you're my customer. No, ganun ang ano nila, no? Parang alam mo 'yun. Minsan may inis ka pero minsan inis. Ang galing na pagkaka-program nito. Pero tama si Christian in the sense na hindi yun complete. There's always that feel of a person that understands you better than robots, no? Alam niyo ba nung unang-unang dumating ang mga outsource, BPO, 'di ba? The first time it was outsourced in India muna bago tayo. A lot of Americans would drop talagang ibinabagsak nila yung phone pag na sumasagot ay hindi Americans. We like Americans. We don't like brown people. Kaya ang ginawa ngayon ng mga BPO, they trained our BPO people, yung agents natin, in order to speak like Americans. Minsan tuloy, hindi mo na malaman kung ano ba itong kausap ko, American ba ito, hindi. Yun ang dahilan. No? So talagang at first, they would really, say curses, curse the people on the other side because they don't want unknown people, unknown yung circumstances, yung kanilang yung the way they speak, right, diction and all that. So talagang ganun. And really service is most important rather than data. Kasi you can have all the data you want, mabilis man yan, pero in the end, you need to talk to a person, a live person. Sabi nga service cannot be outsourced. Service cannot be outsourced. You can always be, you can always do AI with all other things except for human interaction service. Although ginawa nila yan nakita niyo ba nung time ng pandemic? Robots, AI, they are the ones getting your temperature sa mga hospital sa Japan. Ganun. Kasi hindi mahahawa yun. No? Walang mahahawang ng COVID-19 ng mga robots. So they did that. No? Pero after that, there's still the human nurse, the human person, who can understand what you're feeling. Diba? Ganun yung idea dito. So, yeah, you're correct, Marwen, kanina. She's correct in saying that we have to accept that this is really the reality. Wala na tayong gagawa niya. It's already here. Parang noong time nung early ng 1900s daw, a lot of people are against automobiles and they're saying, oh, paano na yung mga natin, yung mga horses natin? We bought a lot of horses. O paano na yun? We will not have the job anymore. Yung mga farmers, mawawalan sila ng trabaho. And yet, after 100 years, di ba? We cope. Di ba? Tama yung sinabi ni Marvin eh. Kailangan talaga natin siya mag-cope because it's already here. Pero you have to think beyond what they can do. And what they cannot do is yung talagang genuine na human service, di ba? If do you have anything more to add to that discussion? Any insights? Of course, yung iba niyan ilalagay natin sa ating assignment, no, for our insights in today's class. But you can also ask questions. Meron ba kayong questions sa mga presentation na yan? Guys, that now is the time for you to do that. Okay. Yes, Marvin. Yes, Marvin. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I think well, AI and robots are already here with us now, and they've been created, and it's going to the things that we have thought before that we just only dreamed of is already here now, and it could
Yes.
get better and better as we go along. So like in I think in the last Winter Olympics in Beijing, they were already using robots in like getting your food, because there's going to be like human traffic in
Yes.
the cafeteria or anything. So I
Correct.
think that was a really good idea, since we're still in a pandemic, and it was a social gathering, so it was good that we could use um
Mm.
to lessen the people in the area. Yun lang, sir.
Yeah. That's correct. Yeah, di ba? Ang ganda nga naman nun, no? Oo. Tapos ngayon, siguro, narinig nyo na rin yung conquering space, di ba? When I was younger, 1980s, time ng, ano ko niyan, elementary days, narinig ko na yan, space exploration. Alam mo ba, mayroong laro dati, may computer game dati na Civilization. And doon sa civilization, if you follow it na walang giyera, guys, ito nakakatawa to eh. Walang giyerang nangyari. Alam niyo ba, we should land in the nearest planet in 1980. Kung walang giyera. Kaso ang problema, di ba, bumubuo tayo. So magigiyera, ali na naman tayo, balik na naman tayo. One step forward, two steps forward, one step backward. So supposed to be, kung di ba nagkaroon ng United Nations, tapos, everybody's helping everybody. We are now, looking towards the next planet where, we can explore. Doon sa game na yun, ang exploration doon, supposed to be we would land in the exoplanet. Hindi to BTS. Exoplanet. Exo ba tawag doon? Exoplanet in 1980. Kaso nga hindi nangyayari, di ba? Ngayon may gera na naman. Pero di ba, as part of this generation, you will be very proud because I think, I predict that within your lifetime, we would be cultivating life in another planet. Who knows? Maybe Mars is the key, no? Sabi nga ni Elon Musk. Why would you go 4 light years away? Mars is just within our vicinity. Hindi mo sabi kung tama yung sinasabi ni Elon Musk. So yan ang mga susunod na ano natin, no? And AI would be the one to do that kasi nga hindi naman sila mamamatay. These robots, this AI, data mining, kasama yan, hindi lang naman robots yan eh. Data, no? Data mining, go there, get data, go back. Kahit hundreds of years, thousands of years, they can easily come back, no? 'Di ba? So, it's part of our growth, 'di ba? Yun yung mahalaga diyan. Anything pa? The others? I know na medyo bad yung connection for some. So, but anyway, we can view this after. More questions? Anything? Sige, okay. So if there's none, then maybe we can call it a day, no? Doc Sheila, do you have anything to share to our students? Since our dean is here. Doc, can you hear me? Ano? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Doc. Thank you. All right, all right. Sige guys, so yeah, let's continue. May mga nagtanong sa akin about the related literature. You don't have to put a lot, no? Sa kapag sinabi kong summary, guys, actually sinasanay ko kayong gumawa ng review ng literature. That's why I only assign 2, no? Yung aking binigay plus 1 more. And it's just a summary. Anyway, next time I will share to you a technique that I'm using para mag-review ng literature ng mabilis. But kailangan merong ano yun, guys, hindi po pwedeng copy then paste, copy and then hindi ganun yun. We have to do something of a plan before you do a good literature review. And you don't have to as of now, you don't have to read the whole thing. Okay? But browse, kailangan marunong kayo ng speed reading Although hindi na yan thing ngayon I attended one in the 1990s, no? Speed reading. Ang laking bagay talaga ng speed reading. When you read like a full article, you don't have to read everything. Pero you can get the gist when you look at the correct spots. Kung paano mo maiintindihan. And then kung kailangan mo talaga ng details, then you have to read the whole thing. But right now, all we need is just a summary. Konting summary for that. So kailangan syempre associated with service quality. That's what we want. Okay guys, so anyway, nasagot ko na rin naman 'yon. Vigluwer, tama ba? Pagka-pronounce ko ng pangalan. But anyway, yeah, if you have questions, okay lang naman. Just message me and we can clear it out. Pag kailangan ng buong class, sinasabi ko rin yung answer dun sa group, no. But yeah, I took this opportunity to talk to you about it. Again, you don't need okay. Okay. Sige, Doc. Ibibigay ko na sa kanila yung link sa GC na lang, Doc. No? O ngayon na ba? Pwede na ba ngayon yan? Okay. Anything pa to share or ask? Sige, share natin yung link ng ng 12. Ano na lang, isasagutin na lang natin sa ating link. Doon sa GC na lang natin i-send siguro, no, para ayan, okay. So pakisagutan na lang po natin yung shinare ni Christian, no, na form, no, for our 12. This is for our class today. Okay, so pakisagutan po so ilan po tayo nandito ngayon? Please answer, all of you. The GC later. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Okay, thank you, Doc. Thank you for coming. Sige, salamat guys Salamat for attending. And
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
ingat
sir.
po kayo. Thank you, Christian. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
God bless
sir.
po.
Ingat.